Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, and today's video is all about growing a successful brand and I guess finding your niche as well. So defining your niche and building a successful brand with the idea of growing in the more long term. I've done a lot of videos on the starting out and some tips to get you going with branding, so I'll link those below, but this one has more of a long-term kind of feel. So if you know what you're doing and you're sort of established, then this is for you. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I make a lot of videos about visual branding and marketing for the music industry to help music artists with their aesthetic and to grow their brand and that kind of thing. So if that is valuable to you, then please subscribe, and you can always like this video too. Thanks. Okay, so to grow a successful brand, you want to think of it like your own world online. Your online presence is so important in this day and age. So think of it as like creating your own environment, your own culture in your own little bubble with your fans. The message and the feel that you portray through your music needs to be equally felt through your visuals, through your website, through your social media, through your storytelling, through the way you communicate. So those 5 things are really important. So obviously music, visuals, storytelling, communication, and your values. So those are the things you really want to dig deep within and make sure you know like the back of your hand. And together these things will help you create your own environment for your fans. So what you want is if someone's gone on Spotify, they found your music, they love it, they want to then be transported to that again once they hit your social media and once they hit your website and once they go to your live show. It's got to be flooded out among all these outlets in order to create that brand. And the idea is that this gives the fans the most value they possibly can, the feeling of feeling connected to you and to each other, and just enjoyment. They feel like they belong, they know what they're getting. So all of that stuff is super important, and it all comes together to represent the music and to help communicate that and you to your fans. So hopefully that makes sense. So to summarize that, through your music, your visuals, your storytelling, your values, and your communication, you create your own online environment, world, culture, whatever you want to call it, and that is your brand, and that is what gives value to your fans. Yay. So if you haven't done my steps, I've covered these steps, these elements in my branding video, and I will link that below and up here. So if you haven't done that, please do that first. And if you have done it, then maybe just go over those things and just check that you're completely happy with what you've decided for each element, that it's completely authentic to you, and that it feels right for now. Because these things can evolve and change over time. So it's always good to go back and just reflect and adapt. Now, a lot of this revolves around social media because it is such a prominent feature of today's marketing. And I think it can give fans so much if you do it well. Obviously, you have to nail the SEO algorithm analytics side as well, but I'm gonna cover more the content and visual side because, that's me. So I would put together some social media ideas and content ideas that reflect your brand. This will be stuff that can tell your story and how you tell it, and it will reflect your values, you as a person, your skill set. It should feel right and it should be enjoyable. If you hate doing social media, then you're not doing it right. So I think that may take some work just to figure out what you enjoy about social media and what you're good at. You may be really good at talking to a camera or really good at taking photos, and that will make you decide which outlets are best for you, which channels work best for you. So I think start by making a list of content that you want to do, whether that is behind the scenes stuff on Instagram stories, whether you're really getting into TikTok and you think that is your platform. Really dig deep in your social media, work out which channels are for you. And I've got a social media video as well that I'll link below. If that is still a minefield to you, it will just give you some little tips to get you going. But yeah, I think you need a list of content that you're really excited about and you really feel like, yes, this is me, this will connect with my fans, this will let them know what I'm about. And then you need to make a schedule. So maybe do it either weekly or monthly. Make sure you have an order of content, and obviously you can leave space for like all behind the scenes improv on that day, like if you're at a gig or something. But just have a rough idea, especially building up to releases. Obviously you need to be doing campaigns and they need to be planned. They need to tell the story and release little bits of information about the song in the build up, so your fans can't wait to get their hands on the song. Do not just release your artwork with this out now, because no one knows what it is or why, or you want to really get them to connect with you and connect with the song and be excited to hear it because they've heard little nuggets of information building up to it. And that is where the storytelling comes in and the communication. So yeah, I know it's a lot, but you can do it. So yeah, I would really dedicate a lot of time to the social media side of things and really make it work for you. And that may take time, and that's okay. But if you're lacking engagement or you're not enjoying it, then something needs to change there. So just have a look at all those elements of your brand, your story and your values, and figure out content that can come from those and how best you can communicate that to your fans. And I'm just going to say, I have said this before, but make sure you adapt the content to the platform. So if you've decided that Instagram is the best platform for you and you want to use the grid mostly, then whatever event or thing is going on, make sure that you capture that with really good photographs. And the same if you want to use TikTok, make sure that you obviously cater to the platform with what you're doing. And every event can be catered to all platforms. It just takes some thinking. And I think one of the elements that may get slightly pushed down in the branding is your core message and values. What are you communicating to your fans in your music? What do you care about that you are passionate about and that your fans will be passionate about as well? Like, connect with your values. It doesn't have to be something really serious or political. It can be whatever you care about. That is your message and your values, but that's just got to come through. Obviously it will in your music, but it's got to come through in the visuals and come through in the content as well. So it is another element that fans can connect with. And lastly, I think you need to think about your ultimate goal or mission with your music. What do you hope to achieve? Really set a long-term goal, like my ultimate goal is to sell 1 million records, or play the Super Bowl halftime show. Like, it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. You may just want to gig every single month. That might be your ultimate goal. It doesn't matter how big or small your goal is, but make sure that you know where you're headed, because I think who you meet and who you talk to and what content you provide, that is all easier if you know what your ultimate goal is and what you want to achieve. If you don't know that, then you're going to sort of float around aimlessly and everything will be a little bit more challenging, I think, in terms of this branding stuff. So think about, if you're a band, talk together about what your ultimate goal is or goals. Have a list, write it down, stick it on the wall so you know that is what you're working towards. And then it should make all these other things a little bit easier on you. Cool, well I hope that is helpful. Just to add on the end, so I think the idea is that what you make fans feel when they listen to your music and how they experience your live shows, that is the environment that you are trying to create online with your branding, your social media and your website and whatever other outlets you choose to use. So the idea is to just make that really clear. What are they getting? What can they expect? Can they come home from the live show, go on your social media and still be part of this world? I think if thinking about it like that could make it easier for some of you to get your head around this whole branding thing and why it's important and how much focus does need to go on social media. Like, the good thing is about social media is it's free, unless you want to advertise obviously, but that will come later on. Utilize that free tool and make the most of it and get to the point where you enjoy it. Transport your fans to your world, basically, and you have to create that world for them first. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that helps and wasn't too blurbery. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye, thanks for watching.